Thank you all so very much for joining us as we have this live discussion and in-depth analysis of Gen V episode 7 titled Hell Week. And let me tell you, we just had our own conversation. We'll be diving into the major plot points, character developments, and shocking reveals, including the main group Marie, Emma, Cate, and Jordan's shifting alliances and personal vulnerabilities. The Godolkin Mystery, unpacking the truth about Dr. Godolkin, Sam Spiral, and the unleashed Dr. Godolkin. We are also discussing new alliances and shifting loyalties, considering Polarity's motivations, Annabeth's secret, and Emma's moral compass. We also attempt to make connections to the boys, how Hell Week impacts the wider universe, and what it means for Vought and Homelander. We're also getting into final episode predictions. So we want you all to share your wildest theories for the season 2 finale and who you think won't survive. Don't miss out on this conversation. Share your thoughts and theories in the chat. Oh yeah. Tell us about today's title.
All right. So Hell Week goes directly into the world of pledging and hazing, which is, by the way, illegal. And so no one should be hazing anyone. And even God, you, does not support hazing. However, and so in this episode, it starts off with the foolishness, with the basically showing how the pledges are beneath somehow. And so, literally speaking of bottoms, you have one of the pledges being expelled from the anus.
I love the way you said that, expelled. I didn't know how to word that, but I'm glad you
expelled from the anus in a BDSM type situation. With a diaper on. I mean, you name it, this is some type of hazing like I have never seen before. And so Hell Week is just that. What is more hellacious than helling from an asshole? Okay.
But on whose part? Was it the member who had to hold him there? Or was it
well, so from my understanding, I don't think he was the only pledge that was up there.
Ooh, I didn't see that.
Oh, you think he had multiple people?
I think he had multiple. I think they probably stored multiple pledges up there. I don't doubt it, because what is more humiliating, unless you're into that, what is more humiliating than being hazed and being in someone's bottom hole until, hey, this is the person that you're attached to. Okay, when I find you, your master basically for Hell Week, I'm gonna house you inside of my anus. What is more demeaning than that?
Bear of Men, you're making a lot of faces right now, and I need to get your thoughts.
You ain't SHIT, so this is where you're gonna be.
I just know he stank.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
I was like,
you gotta stank.
I felt like I was there when they kept trying to hand the stuff to him. I was like, don't touch me. Don't put that on me. Don't. And then I was like, I wouldn't even want to stand too close to him. And whenever said it was multiple, I was like,
I'm telling you.
Can you imagine? His ass is like that purse that Hermione had in Harry Potter. That just you could just put forever stuff in it.
The whole body,
he had a whole line up there.
But it was the way that he was squeezing them out.
Exactly.
Birth to the bullshit.
This season has been unserious on many levels.
Yeah.
Unsavory.
Okay.
Handle. I was like, oh. I knew I was about to catch a whiff off the television screen. It was so
And did you see the way that he was just oily and slimy all over like that time?
Mucosal.
I was like, if he would have touched me, I would freak out. I would feel like I was about to get a bum bump.
Oh my goodness.
Got a bum bump.
Whenever he touch you, you getting a bum bump. He ain't been in
But
nobody.
look, but when he popped out, he was so happy and so.
Wouldn't you be?
He could breathe real air.
Have you been unasked? Wouldn't you be happy?
Oh my god. Like
All
it
right.
wasn't even a problem for him to be being up there. He was just, it's like whatever. But I'm happy I'm out now. What do you need from me, big brother?
How bad you want to be down?
Too bad.
So, Bear of Men, Marie blames Cate for, excuse me, Andre's death and lashes out at her. Given that Marie mistrusts Cate, does Cate have the allowance she needs to fully break her alliances, or was Cate always going to betray them? This is kind of like, is she going to do this, or is she going to do that?
I think Cate still has it in it to betray them. I think she knows she does. I think she desperately wants her powers back. And like, you can't say what you would or wouldn't do if you had that kind of power again. In her mind, she made everybody happy and compliant. So everybody was safe and she knew better. But I mean, at the same time, Marie might be doing the same thing. And maybe that's just what being powerful does to you. Gives you this sense of you know better. And maybe we're seeing the root reason why Homelander feels the way he does.
That's a good point. That's a really good point. I've never liked Cate, and I could care less whatever happened to Cate. I've been wanting her to be gone since the second season, right?
No.
So she gonna do what she gonna do. She gonna snake. She gonna do that. You got to know who she is. But on the other hand, I do think that there is a small chance that she's telling the truth. But it's only because she's just trying to curry favor with him and she wants to get her powers back. She knows and she thinks Marie can help her and she's just trying to use her. I think in the end, Cate's going to be a snake and she's going to end up being a villain. I just,
Hell yeah.
Okay. So unpopular opinion. I think Cate is a good ally to have. And so here's my stance on Cate. I still feel completely why everybody feel how they feel about Cate, right? But I'm still taking into account that Cate is impressionable. Cate is a kid. She's still that. Vought has literally turned adult with power. And so the fact that they have been using her, I don't feel sorry for Cate. Let me be very clear on that. It's not that, but I understand. And so I think Cate would be a good ally to have. She is a formidable foe. Let me be very clear. But I think she'll be a good ally to have because, I think her power is awesome. But I do completely understand why everybody feel like, if Cate, I ain't going. No. But at the same time, it's like with Marie, it's like you're starting to see some of that same arrogance, just some of the moves that you're making with the things that they're putting in your head and the things that you're starting to see, you getting up there. And so you would want forgiveness. You would want, and you want that now. You want that right now with the things that you've pulled with your friends. And so for you to go hard on Cate, yes, Cate was wrong, but you kind of dancing in the same territory. So that's why I kind of feel like, okay, you might not need to double down on the Cate stuff because you're not above it at this point. You're not. And so that's just kind of where I'm at with it.
And doesn't Cate actually tell her that too at one point in this episode? She basically tells her that.
Like they're using you too?
Towards the end of the episode, I think when they were leaving, she says something similar to her,
Cate took a stance. She did.
Yeah.
She was like, you're asking me to basically, I'll heal you if you hold them off. And Cate took a stance and she said, no, to me, that was a redemption piece for Cate because she could have just went ahead. Okay, I just want my powers back. Okay, this is what Marie wants. Cool, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do what she says. So just so I can be self-serving. She didn't do that.
Yeah.
Bear of Men, I've been trying to get to you.
I think it would be cool if this is Cate's origin story for being a villain.
I love a good.
I love a good villain. I love to root for a villain. I do. I ain't lying.
They always start out the nice guy.
A villain with motive, and it's actually right.
Okay, all right. So, speaking of towing the line, if you will, after Marie immobilizes her friends to pursue the Godolkin mystery, do you think, Corey, she can realistically regain the trust of the group in the final episode?
I saw something, and Elia kind of mentioned this. I saw a little bit of hesitation and almost, dare I say, fear behind them when they were I think we were in the fight scene. And we saw the first piece of it when she brought her sister back to life in the previous episode. And then you start seeing towards the end of this episode when she levitated them to make them stay using their blood, that how they reacted a little bit different to her. And I think she is going to have a little bit of trouble getting their full trust, because I think, to Elia's point, she's getting a little power hungry due to her finding out about the extent of her powers. And I think it may be a little bit hard for her, and something's going to happen either. And I could also very well see in a surprise she turns to bad just as well as she could turn to good, because that would be a twist. And we know this season has been all about twists. So it's possible. It's possible.
Oh, yeah.
So I think that she is going to have the most trouble regaining their trust, simply because you're on this power trip, this godlike behavior. Okay, you're a god, we get it. Now you've had the seeds planted of you being the most powerful soup that there is, to the point to where you can even step to Homelander. That's a huge deal. And so, whereas we have seen Marie's character kind of develop from being completely humble to where now you literally are godlike status, and you're starting to buy into that, to the point to where you would use your powers against your friends, as opposed to just leaving it at, no, I don't want the help, I don't need the help, I'm going to sacrifice myself, I'm just going to be the sacrificial lamb. I can say that without trying to subdue everybody and flex my power on them. You didn't do that. You decided you were going to abuse your power, abuse your friends, including your sibling, with all of this. So I think she is going to have a real problem with them trusting her again, because now you're in your head about it. You have this God complex. Marie is going to be in some trouble.
Yeah.
Barrett, man.
I think we're starting to see, like, again, where soups that are so powerful go wrong.
Yeah.
She's like, at this point, she's being a hypocrite to Caitlin.
Now you hear say it again. Because we know you can't stand Cate. You and Corey, I think, well, Chad too.
You blow my arm off, I'm gonna be a villain.
Because I don't think nobody hates Cate more than the three of y'all.
Right?
I can't stand. But
at the same time,
I sympathize with her, though. I do.
can. If I could just wipe this away for everybody, it'll all go away. It won't. It won't.
That's that God complex, working in her too. She's done it. That's where she's gone wrong. And to your point, it's 100% hypocritical of Marie to go so hard on Cate. You're doing the same thing.
And then he woke up and did the same thing.
And then to be honest, Marie might just be worse, simply because you saw where everything went wrong with Cate, and you still turned around and did this to your friends and your family that you've been looking for so long, with this horrible name of Annabeth. But that's another conversation.
So speaking of Annabeth, Annabeth has a premonition of Marie falling in a pool of blood. Do you think this foreshadows her death, meaning Marie, or a severe injury from a showdown with a major character like Godolkin, Jordan, or even Homelander?
So premonitions are tricky. I'm a charmed girl. Premonitions are very tricky. So I don't know that it's necessarily a foreshadowing of her death. It could be a foreshadowing of her downfall in general. Because again, she's developed this godlike complex. So it could just be a foreshadowing of her downfall in general.
Barrett.
I think it's a premonition of something, of her evolving to the next level.
That's a good point.
I like it.
Because when has blood ever been her problem? And they didn't, all because she had blood around her doesn't mean it was hers.
Also facts.
I could also very well see that premonition being one of the final things that we see in the season, and the beginning of the next season really kind of shows what happened, right? Either we're not going to recognize her as the Marie that we know as hero, she'll be fully into a villain on the side of Godolkin, etc., or she's going to be a full hero realized, right? I think it's going to be. I agree with you. I think it's going to be a stepping stone to something else, or she could potentially lose her powers. Maybe that's them showing she loses her power and she has to have her own redemption arc for whatever may happen. I could see any of those because they've kind of shown us that they love to surprise us, right? This season has been nothing if not exciting with the surprises and the twists and the turns.
So speaking of Marie's better half, Jordan, admits his or her or their powers are tied to their self-discovery and shared that fact with Annabeth, bearer of men. How does this personal vulnerability change your perception of the usually reserved Jordan?
I didn't know that they were proud to be both because they act a way about it. And I thought it kind of put a name to like, who is a superhero without their superpowers? It's been theirs forever, That's all they know. At least by the time they hit puberty, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's all they know by the time they're adults. So, and they're adults now. So it's good to see like how, especially how complicated Jordan's power is. It's good to see that they wouldn't have it any other way though.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of wishing it was one or the other. It kind of speaks to it.
Mm-hmm. Corey? Okay. Oh yeah.
I'm gonna say this. Jordan is a complex character. And of course, understandably so, to where no one knows quite what to say. Every time you mention Jordan, everybody's like, them, there, they. Everybody kind of, even people that are a part of the community don't quite know what to say when it comes to Jordan. And so I think that character is just, obviously it's just complex all around. To see the vulnerability piece, especially with your girlfriend's sibling, it was cool. I mean, I could have did without it, and still been just fine and still enjoyed the show if they didn't explore that piece, if I'm being 100% honest.
And that's why I did the
I didn't think
it was good though to get them. I think it was good to get that part out though, because it kind of made the sister feel convicted in her feelings about her powers, because she hid him forever and you didn't even know that she knew that her sister was going to kill her mother before it happened. She let everybody think she didn't have any powers.
That's fair. That is a fair.
You know what? The thing that I like about Jordan the most is the fact that the story is so present and current with what's going on today, and that's been the premise of everything that we've seen from Gen V and even the boys, that they bring into as satire, poking fun of the current political and social climate, right? So I think that's what I enjoyed the most, but I also feel like I would have enjoyed it even better if they would have showed the character just being and not making that a central point and a central focus of everything about this particular character, right?
You don't hate that it has to be a forced conversation all the time.
Yeah, it feels like it's forced, but then on the other hand, if would we say if they didn't showcase it, I'd be pissed off because they didn't talk about the
But to your point though, I feel that though, like on the side of letting it be just implied versus a deep dive. You
Correct.
know, that's the odyssey of having an imagination, right?
Right.
Just, you know, you don't have to spell everything out. You know, just being in the know, you can infer a lot of these pieces. So I feel you on what you're saying. In fact, I agree with you. I love that. Kudos. It's clacking.
At some point in time, we have to get to a point when we see LGBTQ plus characters outside of their sexuality and it not being the main through of their story and their storytelling, because it is just one piece of who we are as individuals. And I think that's the problem, is that a lot of times when you have characters that are in the community, that is their entire identity throughout the story, and it's wrapped up in it.
Barrowman.
And I'm so glad he said that, because that has been my problem with all the sexual content on TV lately. It's not that I didn't grow up a horn dog too and want to see some, some balls, some penis. You know what I'm saying? I ain't not seeing titties and ass, nothing. You know what I'm saying? I was like, oh, you know what I'm saying? But like, it used to be sensual. It used to be sexy. It used to be a buildup of, oh my goodness, it was about, even if they were two friends that weren't supposed to like each other and had somebody else. It used to be some type of buildup. Now it's just smut. Here it go. Bang, 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 bang.
Like the D'Angelo video to where you had to just hope they
like,
was gonna drop the camera, but they didn't.
and never did. You was just looking hard under the camera, like, can I get to it? Can I get
Rest in peace, D'Angelo. Rest in peace. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
Oh, I had some flashbacks. Okay, all right. I want to change things up just a little bit. I want to talk about the Godolkin Mystery. All right, so the mystery of it all, right? At least from Marie, Cate, and Sam's perspective. All right, Emma too. Cipher has an interesting change of heart. First, he's contemplating killing Godolkin, then being overjoyed to see Marie, Cate, and Polarity, and finally being healed by Marie's powers. So this question goes to Corey. What do you predict his role will be in the final episode?
I think that he is the introduction of the unveiling of the big bad for the final 2 seasons, because I think they've already said the show was only going to get 4 seasons maybe, perhaps, and The Boys is only going to get 5. I think he's going to be this is the lead up to he and Homelander, or he and somebody, or whatever, he and the 7 as they exist now, being the big bad of the shows, because at this point in time the shows are kind of intermingling, and I think that's on purpose. I also think that we're going to see some more surprises, and probably someone is potentially going to die, and it may be a fan favorite potentially, because I feel like there hasn't been enough consequences for our main group of individuals so far in the show, outside of Andre, rest in peace, Chance, and I think that the show needs to have or experience some of that from our main characters for it to really hit home in the next season or so, if they wrap this up.
Oh yeah.
So I think Godolkin is gonna start an all-out, basically, civil war between the Supes, and obviously, I mean, it's been stated he wants to cull the herd, as he very, very explicitly stated. So there's no guesswork there. So I feel like
Ass Boy was killed at the end of the episode.
Say it again.
Ass Boy was killed at the end of the episode.
Were we mad though? Were we really?
So
I told you I love me a villain. I was like, he was the first on my fucking list. If we just gonna make one, can we all pretend we Godolkin right quick and figure out which one of them pathetic excuse for mutants and superheroes was gonna go? Can we please? I'm sorry. Never mind. I'm sorry.
So yeah, I think that's my theory. Just basically a civil war between the Supes, and basically survival of the fittest. This is what we're gonna see, and he is the puppet master for it all. That's where we're headed. Now, what I would like to see is how they're gonna weave Stan Edgar back into all of these.
Yeah.
As we kind of get ready to close this thing out, because I was refreshed to see him come back, which I know you can't trust him at all.
No
But-
matter what show plays in, no matter what movie Giancarlo Esposito is in, you can't trust him. You can't trust him. You can't trust him.
True. When I
at
see him
all,
come,
because as we've seen in Wait Long Tail.
So what do y'all think about Sage? Like, I don't know how much y'all talked about Sage, and I on one hand, I think that she is fully committed to just turning the world inside out. But do you think that she eventually is going to realize that she's chosen the wrong side? Or do you think it's and how does it relate, and how is she interconnected with Godolkin and everyone? Like I feel like they kind of snuck her in this season. Like, she's in this season and you didn't really expect her to be, right? Like, how do y'all think she's gonna
Bear of men.
I think she's the mastermind behind it all, and everybody doesn't realize that she's the one pulling the strings.
That's kind of what I'm thinking too, but to what end though? Because she can't stand Homelander.
I think that's the point. I think that's the point.
I think she can't stand Homelander, but she's using him, because wasn't she there to support him at the end of The Boys? And
Yeah.
But it was part of her plan.
Long game. Playing a long game.
Yeah, I think there's something. I think that Godolkin is also a part of it, but he's being puppeteered by her too, but he's turned on by it.
Or the fact that he hasn't had any in all these years, and that's his first taste.
Baby, he ain't even smelt it for real yet. Wait until he gets with his new little body. All them burns and wrinkles gone.
So, but remember in this season when they showed the Nazi sub basement and with all the paraphernalia, in my mind, I was thinking that was all Godolkin stuff, right? Like he had gotten all that paraphernalia, and I was thinking that one of his powers is longevity, and he was a part of all that, and he wants to recreate the Third Reich with Soups here, on Earth through this show. That's the take that I was going with it. But I mean,
it's consistent with what's happening in not Gen V in The Boys,
right? And it makes me wonder if that's the case. But then that also pulls into question, what is Sage's role in it? Like, is she knows this is going on, and
she's gonna bring it all down, baby. She's gonna bring it all down.
That's my hope. But
going to make them kill each other.
That's what I'm thinking.
Okay, that's a good point. Because is this a Candace Owens moment, right?
Oh, I hope not. Because she stay on some little white man, don't she?
No, I understand. I get it.
Moving on.
So, towards the end of the episode, Cate asks the healed Dr. Godolkin for help, but he is instead reveling in his pain-free existence. Is this a sign that Marie's powers, while capable of healing, can still be used for selfish, destructive ends?
100%. But it goes back to, like Chad says all the time, these some dumbass kids. You don't read the room. You do not read the room. You have a whole lot of reactions with zero accountability for real. And so, yes, while you have this amazing power, it can 100% be destructive if you don't steward it well. You don't have the facts. You have been puppeteered, and so you are having a string of reactions on what you think you know, and you don't know nothing. And we talked about this at the beginning of the show before we started recording about being unaware and just doing things and there are grave consequences to that. And so, yes, 100% can be destructive because you do not have all the facts. You're just doing things. You got power with zero accountability.
Bearman.
Can you say the question completely again?
Sure. Let me find it. Selfish destructive ends. Is this a sign that Marie's powers, while capable of healing, can still be used for selfish destructive ends?
100%. I think most 20-year-olds shouldn't have any kind of power. I mean, look at what Ass Man did. Just any kind of power at all. Look what you do with it. You're stuffing people up there. You know what I'm saying? Who told you to do that? Nobody at all. But anywho,
But wait, though, I want to investigate that too, though, since you brought it up. What could be the real potential for that power? Okay, I'm gonna just leave it there.
Well, while he had to go, I'm saying, Godolkin,
A power bottom.
So it was mentioned, I don't know if it was this episode or the last episode, that basically he has access to a multi-dimensional universe.
Yeah,
So,
in his bottom.
through his butthole.
Orifice.
I ain't gonna never get to it. I'm a stay in this dimension.
Do you know that goes back to everything ain't to be experienced? You don't need to experience anything. You know.
Oh my goodness.
I got to travel through your ass to get to the next stratosphere. I'm gonna stay here on this plane.
So that does bring up a question, though. So we talked about how Marie is she leaps without thinking, and obviously because of her fast action, she brought back Godolkin, you know, in all his terribleness, right? But it makes me question the reason why all these kids and the good guys are just kind of haphazardly running around. Where are the mentors? Like, where are the older soups that are halfway decent good guys, right? Why are all the soups fucked up?
They kill them. Vought kills them.
Vought kills them.
If you can't play the game, you get murked.
Out of there.
They've been killed. They've been turned. You have no impulse control at that age for real. And the ones that do, those are the exceptions. That's not the rule, you know?
And they all out swinging. They ain't got time to be being
what
nobody.
Kind of swinging?
They doing that too.
Out there swinging, boys. I said, "Oh, that's where everybody at. This where they hang out at." It was almost everybody here. They ain't nobody room order.
So this is what I will say. So as complex of a character as the Deep is, you can tell that at his core he doesn't want to be evil. He doesn't want to be evil. He's just being made to be evil. So I think a lot of characters are like that. He also wants to belong, and because he wants to belong, it's really hard for him to step out. And that's a lot of these characters.
And the only other difference would be Starlighter, but sometimes she's hard to like. But then on the other hand, you kind of want to
really hard to like you. Really?
That's how I am as the teacher. That ain't what they told us to do, honey. Nope. I need my little check.
All right. I thought I wrote about it. But anyway, Bearer of Men. Sam seems to be spiraling, being confronted by his fraternity brothers, and eventually being controlled by Cipher / Godolkin. Will Emma be the one to save him, or is Sam too far gone to be reasoned with?
You feel like he started spiraling when he took control over him?
Not when he took control over him.
But when he saw man, that mind place.
Exactly.
He started spiraling a little bit. I think that Emma has the capacity to keep him grounded, but I'm proud for them to have her as a young lady realize that's not her damn job.
Right.
You did something wrong, and I don't have to be there for you in that capacity if I don't want to. And I could like somebody else, and I could be in somebody else's face. I think it's real hard for young women to do that in real life. So just to see, even if it was like a super, a super person, to see, because we're playing off the humanity in all these characters, and for her to be able to say at such a young age, I like you, and I might still kind of like you, but you don't own me. And just because you think you better don't mean I'm supposed to drop everything else I'm doing to be worried about the fuck you got going on. That ain't my job. I like that. And I thought that was a really good human lesson for young women. Because you
Oh yeah.
don't.
Hell yeah.
I was thinking about the original First Wives Club. You don't own me.
Yes, if he's Diane Keaton.
So I do think that she is a great anchor for him. I do. And so he said as much, like, I'm not used to feeling things, because he was locked away for so long and all of the things. And Emma is a good reminder of, that he is still human in lieu of the other parts that he's been experiencing with the puppets and all the crazy stuff that he's got going on. And that made him human again. Like just seeing you with another guy, it became a very real human storyline for him. And so I do think that Emma is a really good anchor for him. I don't know about saving him completely, but I do think she'd be a great catalyst in keeping him grounded so he can save himself.
Corey?
I like that. I don't want to see him get saved. I don't want to see him dig himself out, and I don't necessarily want to see the two of them together either, because we've seen that.
Because the other guy's fine.
He is, but I am afraid one of them is going to end up being hurt or a casualty. New characters are always assumed they're just there to feed the plot, right? If someone has to die, they're one of the people that's gonna be, and I don't want to see that happen to him. But at the same time, I say that to say I don't want him to die for Sam and Emma to get together, right? I want them to kind of break this whole thing that they got going on.
They picked a good character because he can fly. Sam, you can jump real far. This motherfucker can fly. And he fine.
And he fine too.
He got
and
that,
he nice and he concerned about you, girl.
And he got that dusty blonde kind of hair thing happening too. And he bigger.
Worried about her.
They need a character like the actor Tyreek Winters, whatever. They need a character like that on the show, like a just a Himothy, just one that's just
not a Himothy.
Yeah.
So I want to change things up just a little bit. I want to talk about some of the shifting loyalties that's going on in the group. So Polarity reminds Marie that Vought makes people do things they never thought to consider. Considering Polarity joins Marie's mission to keep Cipher busy, do you think he is truly trying to help the students or simply looking for redemption for the past actions that he took? Let's go to Bear of Men.
You talking about Polarity?
Yes.
Is he looking for redemption?
Yes.
I think that it's popping. It's on and pop. I think it's all of it. I think he's redemption. I think he's trying to avenge his son. I think he's trying to be a better person and be there as a barrier and really help, because he bought into what he thought, they all bought into saving, the little pink guy. And they turned out to be the real Cipher. And it was like, hell. You know what I'm saying? Godolkin is Cipher. Which Corey clocked that. But I thought it was really cool. I do love to see a black man step into the hero shoes. You know what I'm saying? It was nice. It was real nice.
Oh, yeah.
So I love what they did with Polarity. I do think echoing with Bearman had to say, he's out to avenge his son and just ultimately trying to be a better person. He needs something to fight for. He's still grieving. There's still that. And then now that he has basically been healed of the tremors, the seizures, all the things, why not fight for redemption? After what happened to my son, because, ultimately, to his point, he said, Vought makes you do things that you wouldn't ordinarily think that you would do. And so he's starting to see that. And that's why whenever Marie wanted to try to blame Cate for everything, he's like, hang on, I'm a parent that lost a child, saying it without saying it. No, this is not Cate's fault. This is Vaught's fault, or my fault, rather. If you want to blame somebody, blame me, because I exposed my child to this. So he is on this quest to redeem himself, and at the same time save these kids, because he couldn't save his own. And so I'm here for it. I love it.
Corey?
Okay, I had muted myself and I couldn't unmute myself. So, I agree. I think that it's two things, right? He's grieving the death of his son. He wants revenge for the death of his son. He feels guilty that he wasn't there, or that he could not help or save his son, or that he's partly to blame for what happened to his son. And he sees an opportunity with these kids to do all the things, right? To be a mentor, quote unquote, to be a soldier in their fight, and I do think that he will get redemption. And he looks great in this series, by the way. He looks fantastic. He looks so good. But and we need heroes right now. They need some other heroes besides that core group of 5 kids that are fighting against this machine, right?
Look, again, I'm going at Chad. Them dumbass kids.
They need somebody to guide them in A, emotional intelligence, and B, how not to get themselves captured or killed every episode.
So speaking of dumbass kid, what were you gonna say?
It's about time we got a damn adult around that place.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody needs to be an adult, and that you're in the situation that they're in,
and they don't know how.
So, Annabeth finally reveals to Marie that she knew how her parents would die, but did nothing to warn. Do you forgive Annabeth? And what are her motivations for finally sharing this deeply held secret?
So naturally, of course, I forgive Annabeth, because again, she's still just a kid. And first of all, having the power of precognition, that's heavy. To see something like that, you think you're just dreaming. Sometimes we don't, just share our dreams or the scary things that we see, so she didn't completely know what was going on with her. One, didn't know she had compound V in her. So there was a lot of different pieces that just weren't her fault. She's an innocent in this situation. So 100% forgive her for not speaking up on the fact that she had this precognition sooner, or even that she saw her parents' death. Now, as far as her being vulnerable enough, I feel like we kind of addressed that a little bit earlier with Jordan, saying how she kind of hid, or they hid, that they had the duality type powers that they had. So I think Jordan was instrumental in kind of helping break down those walls for Annabeth. And so that was good. That was necessary. But I'm glad that she mentioned it. But for me, in the end, how Marie responded to it, I'm just seeing completely a God complex from Marie, because that was something extremely heavy to reveal to anyone, let alone to your sibling who has all this time felt like they were responsible for the parents' death completely, when Annabeth was able to actually kind of see it. That's something heavy to carry around. But in the end, for Marie to just be like, oh, well, okay, well, this is how I'm moving anyway.
Corey?
I thought that was a welcome piece that they added to the story at the last minute. It was just refreshing just to see that all this time, the hunt for Annabeth, and their meeting didn't quite, it lived up to what I expected, but I expected there to be either blows or something, right? Because of the animosity and the tension that we were getting, that that we thought Annabeth felt towards her sister. But I still loved it, right? It showed a contrast in the different types of hurt and how people react. Annabeth decided that she didn't want anything to do with Soups as a result of, and she wants to suppress her supernatural ability. Marie, on the other hand, is embracing it, and as we see, is going down this different path. It'll be curious to see where they end up at the end of this season and even next season. Hope they don't kill her.
Merriman.
I hope they don't kill her either. I haven't even thought about it like that, but yeah, they killing everybody. Just all out of nowhere. I think she picked the wrong time to be open about it. I think she just
did that 10 years ago, bitch.
I saw mom and dad's death, so you have to believe me now. And it's like, girl, I'm trying to die, taking him out. So it's cool. Like you felt how you felt. You probably did see it. You ain't supposed to be here. I hope you didn't see that you were here when this happened.
I disagree.
Like I think that's how I think she had tunnel vision of rage and like that God complex. Like I know better. But I think I don't think that she shouldn't have told her at all. I just think that moment was like one of those ones destined to go wrong. You waited until right before I went ahead to kill him.
The only reason I disagree is because I feel like that was a Hail Mary and a really good bargaining chip, because Marie's been carrying it around for so long, thinking it was her fault. Right. And at that point, to your point, she was so far gone. You know what I'm saying? To where she did have all the vengeance on her mind.
She killed her parents.
Wait, listen. This is what I'm saying. The sister has not said this to anyone. No one has ever heard this information before. And now you got vengeance on your mind. You ready to go in there half-cocked to do whatever. Perhaps this was my last Hail Mary to get you to kind of scale it back. You know, now don't get me wrong. It didn't land. It 100% didn't land, as we saw. But I don't think that was the wrong time. I think it was the perfect time to pull that card, because you're about to do something crazy as hell. Let me let you know and let you off the hook. This wasn't your fault. I feel like it was mine because I should have said something. So that's all that I'm saying.
And ultimately, it should have relieved it, right? Don't you think? Like, don't you think that it should have relieved some of that burden from her? And I don't think that's
not
that's not what happened.
Right. But I don't disagree. I feel what you're saying. Marie was still gonna do what Marie was gonna do.
She raged out.
She was on some God shit at that point. But I understood why the sister unasked that information at that time, because this is all I got. This is my Hail Mary. I'm gonna just throw it out there, just hoping that'll scale you back. It didn't land. It did not. But I don't think it was a bad time, and I think that was probably perfect timing for you to say that type of thing. That's all I got. That's it.
All right, Bear of Men. Emma confronts Sam in the Union, and I'm going to you because I believe it was you who brought it up. Emma confronts Sam in the Union about the severity of the situation, telling him he doesn't have the right to feel any kind of jealousy about Greg. Is Emma one of the only characters keeping a moral center? And is her compassion for Sam dangerous?
Her compassion for Sam is dangerous because he is a fucking Looney Tune.
Almost literally. He's a fucking Looney Tune, almost literally.
Almost literally. Baby.
What a Muppet master.
Like, he sees Muppets, baby. So I don't know, putting all this strong faith into him. I think it's beautiful. Moral center or something else, still matized on her. Whole tie on her, but I think that I do think morally she may be the only one, because one of her power, she hates her power so much. She might be the only one with the moral center, left. Now, if she's Is she playing the dangerous game by putting faith into people who see Muppets to 100%?
She playing a dangerous game.
I said, she need a tranquilizer. If you're gonna keep something on you, you need to keep more than your pocketbook, on you, baby, because that ain't everything. Don't just calm him down. He gets up there, he gets stuck. But I do think out of everybody, she's always the one making the most sense.
Yeah.
Especially with practical morality. There's just certain things you don't do. Just like when she said, save Cate. We gonna die. Let her deal with this. What that goofy ass did. And I'm glad the first person they showed after they got captured was who? Emma. The only one who said we don't need to go in there. But I when it comes to like morals, yes, I think she's grounded. She does do the right thing no matter what.
But what about Jordan? I think Jordan's grounded too.
I think Jordan's selfish.
Well, they all selfish.
I know,
I
but
think
I
that's
don't.
the consequence of their powers.
I agree with Barra Men. I think the leading character, what is it? The emotion that I get from him is, or her, or whatever them is me.
Like, aren't you and my sister together? We were. Why is it we were? You know why she left you? To protect you. Stop being simple. Hey, thinking about yourself and how you feel in this moment. When she thinking about not killing you, when she finna go probably kill her damn self.
So, but one thing too that I noticed is this previous episode. I know I talked shit about Jordan earlier, but I do appreciate how when they transition to the opposite gender, how some of their personality changes a little bit, or their mannerisms, or how they perceive and do things, it changes a little bit. And I just recently started to kind of catch on to that. So, it's kind of cool.
I think when they want to protect themselves or seem macho, they turn into a man right quick.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of the power.
When they off guard, they like, what's up? You know what I'm saying? I don't blame them. I got a Hulk in me too. As soon as you get scared, what is it?
You can't say nothing else tonight.
Corey, what are your thoughts?
I don't have no more thoughts.
Hell yeah.
I don't even know what we're talking about anymore.
I thought it was Jordan. I think Jordan is Emma first, Jordan second.
As far as having a moral compass.
Yeah.
So the thing with Jordan is, and then I do empathize with Jordan a little bit, is you are a walking, talking, dichotomous individual, and you have this axiom: you are feminine, you are masculine, you are sensitive, you are macho. You have all these things going on. So I do empathize with that. That's a lot to carry on in one person all the freaking time. And so I do still agree with the majority that Emma is probably the least of the dummies as it relates to these children. She's the most grounded one. And I do appreciate the balance that she offers for everyone, but I do empathize with Jordan a lot. I do, because that's a lot going on. Okay, I got a penis. Now I have a uterus. That's a lot. That is a lot to manage. It just is. And everything that goes along with that. It is. It's a lot to manage.
So, Corey, Polarity emits an energy pulse that knocks down everyone, including Cipher. Do you think this is a controlled version of the same ability that once paralyzed them? And how does it compare to other destructive powers we've seen in the boys' universe?
So I do think that it is an expanded version of what he's able to do, right? I think it's, in the superhero world, there's levels to it, like in particularly X-Men, there's Omega level mutants and all other kind of stuff. I really see him kind of like a Magneto type, right? But just on a lesser scale. And because of his anger, because of everything that's been going on, I think he's been held back a little bit. And now that he's been, you know, well, towards the end that he's been healed, I think we'll see more power coming from Polarity. And I think it was just the anger and everything else that he had been through kind of lashed out. In terms of, I think he could potentially be one of the more powerful soups that we've seen. I also think if you take out Homelander, right, because you know he's the Superman version of this show, right? He's supposed to be all powerful. Then you have the Deep, who capacity for, if you look at him like an Aquaman type, he's probably as powerful, but in the show they don't show him as such. And then I think of potentially Starlight, but only because, you know, because of what her powers are, right? I don't know if she's really that powerful. I think Polarity is somewhere in between Starlight and Homelander.
The fuck, Corey? Okay, all right. So Bear of Men, if the Godolkin events spill out onto the public, what do you think the reaction will be from Vought and the soups from the boys, like Homelander?
If they're gonna have to kill him, because I think Homelander was more into convincing soups to be on his side and come together and be against humans. But like, I mean, Cipher wants to take it a step further, really just keep the god soups. The rest of you accidents can get the hell on out of here. You know what I'm saying? And I think that they're gonna, I think who's gonna worship him? I mean, outside of humans, of course, who's gonna kiss Homelander's ass? And who's he gonna have a hierarchy over if only the powerful are left? Who's he gonna dominate? What men we have? You know, like I think he sees the value in the levels of these soups versus Cipher, who's like, no, we're gonna start controlling these humans and doing as we please, and we're gonna be the guys that walk the earth. But first, we got to get rid of these losers. After that, we're good. They make us look like them. You know, you have all these weaklings. They make us look like them. You get rid of them and only have us left. Like, we're not here for amusement. We're here to get stuff done. And I'm just interested in knowing, what exactly do you plan to do once you only have the powerful ones left? Like, what are you going to build? What are you going to do with the world? Why is this an obsession to you? What's the plan? But I think they're going to try to kill him.
Corey?
I kind of agree with Bear of Men. I think that definitely will try to kill him. Definitely.
Hell yeah.
You have all of this research and knowledge behind this that most people don't. You are a threat. So to some degree, I think they're going to keep him, but in a very subdued capacity, right? Because we still need to pick your brain. And if you're part of the reason why all of this has been started, we kind of want to keep you around for your knowledge and research purposes, but very subdued. He is 100% a threat, 100%. And so not necessarily kill him, but kind of how, I mean, obviously when he was in the hyperbaric chamber or whatever, but now we know that he was kind of pulling the strings. That was too much power. So we want you subdued. We want your knowledge, but no, we're not going to kill you, but just kind of keep you around to kind of pick your brain.
But the other thing too that is really interesting to me, what happens when Homelander realizes that Godolkin is alive? And you get that crazy mixed with his crazy?
Yes, Godolkin made him, right?
I couldn't hear you, Eric.
I said Godolkin made Homelander, right?
Yeah, in a
where he
roundabout
started
way.
programming. Yeah.
And kept them in a lab. It might
But what I'm saying is Cipher is a powerful soup in and of his own self. Plus, he has the knowledge base of what he has done, which you combine that with Homelanderness, that's going to be crazy.
So really, Cipher was just the alias. There is no Cipher.
Yeah, there is no Cipher.
Well,
if they end up
if you merge, not merge per se, like merging the characters, but if what's her name? Sister, I want to say Sister Soldier so bad. If Sister Sage and Dr. Godolkin are working together, then that's pretty much an unstoppable force, especially because Godolkin knows how to use other soups to his benefit. He can even inhabit other soups. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a lot of power. I want to go to the next question. The episode ends with Dr. Godolkin unleashed on campus and Polarity's powerful blast. What are your wildest predictions for the season 2 finale, and who do you think will not survive? So Corey kind of talked about it earlier, so I want Corey to start first.
I think that potentially we lose Greg, which will maybe force Emma and Sam to back together because obviously that's what they want. But I think potentially we lose Greg, and we may see something catastrophic happen to Marie, or she becomes or merges or makes a turn towards villainy or whatever. Something like that that's going to happen with her. We may also potentially lose Annabeth. That's what I think.
Oh yeah, predictions for the final episode.
I was thinking the same thing. So for the final episode, I think we are going to physically lose Annabeth. I think emotionally we are going to lose Marie. I think Marie is just going to be gone. I think Marie is going to be part of the Vought machine.
Bearman.
I think Marie might end up a part of the Vought machine, but I think that we're going to lose Jordan.
Ooh.
And we could even lose the Looney Tune who's starting to redeem himself.
Because we Americans love redemptions.
Yeah, what he's serving now. But to make Emma stronger and deal with her shit.
See how she elevates. No pun intended. All right. Oh, I'm sorry.
What do you think? What do you think is gonna happen?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I have no thoughts. What I anticipate is this. This is what I anticipate.
Dare you?
I anticipate that the unexpected will happen in this particular case. I think we're thinking all of these things are going to happen, but something unexpected will occur, which will lend itself towards a good season 3.
I'm wondering if Sister Soldier is gonna bring Homelander and
Sage.
Oh, so sorry.
She is now known as Sister Soldier.
Sister, for real. I'm wondering if Sister Sage is going to put Cipher and Homelander together, and it's gonna work.
I think okay, so I think Sister Sage wants Homelander. She wants his downfall. She might even want Vaught's downfall, and having the two of them pitted against each other will be the downfall of Vought. Because imagine the destruction.
Yeah, the whole machine's coming down.
What if Sage is really working with the previous CEO in some kind of way?
That
unexpected.
I like it.
Unexpected. But at the same time, expected, because I still go back to this. The fact that a black man was CEO of Vought, this racist organization.
Right?
Yeah. Anyway, final question. Mayfair to 10. What you got?
Mayfair to 10. This episode, it's about a 9 for me.
Yep.
This episode, this is up there. probably one of the as far as runtime, a little bit shorter than the others, but a lot happened in this episode. So for me, it's about a 9.
Bear of Men.
I love me a good villain. Like seeing him get healed and then be on some bullshit and get rid of my one of my now least favorite soups.
I ain't even put no clothes on to do it.
No, just walked out,
Down in his robe, baby.
flopping and swinging.
Toes out.
Mm-hmm.
Robe and toes. Robe and
Mhm.
toes.
Mm-hmm.
Making people hang
Mhm.
themselves. I was like, what kind of power is that? Like,
Corey? Oh,
I think
I'm
I'm gonna give it a. I'm gonna give it a 9. I think it was really good.
Corey, what were you gonna say at first?
You gave it a
I was
9.
gonna say an 8.5, but I really thought about it. I was like,
8.5 from you.
I really. But this whole season has been good though. It hasn't had any slow parts in it. Like the whole season has. I could have really, if they released it all at one time, I would have binged it. It was that good.
Okay, so I'm gonna give it a 10, and let me tell you why. I can always tell when y'all like something. Y'all don't stop talking about it. Y'all talk so much. Yeah was tired, and she still kept talking. That's how I know this particular episode was good.
She didn't went lay down in the bed.
And I don't know if y'all realize, but I stopped asking for all of y'all to comment, and I started asking individuals because this would have been 2 hours long.
I was like, shut up.
So that's why I give it a 10. Anything that we did not talk about in this particular episode, because I feel like we talked about everything in this episode.
Do we think they're going to do multiple? Do we think they're going to do a combined finale for these shows? Like, because they're interwoven so much. Do we think that
it's possible? Anything is possible.
Like now, I want to see some of the Gen V kids on Boys when it comes back.
I think episode 1 of the last season of The Boys, I think we saw Cate.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
She met Homelander or something. Yeah, she met Homelander or something. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I've not been bored at all with this series. It's been a really good season. It has again, I'm
way better than the last season.
Chad is typically our resident crossover king when it comes to The Boys and Gen V. So I keep adding him because I have just restarted The Boys or what have you. And so we've seen a lot of booty hole monsters and all this other crazy stuff.
And penis monsters. There's a lot of sex in this show too.
But are you complaining about it?
I'm not. I like it.
It has been a great run.
You know, I like some romance. Give it to me.
Oh, it's not no romance.
I'm just throwing it.
Well, you know, doing that octopus, that was a little romance.
Yeah, I guess. I guess.
She talking shit here. Anything else we wanted to talk about? Nothing else? All right. Thank you all so very much for joining us. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share on all your social media. Until next time, y'all have a good one.